Normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
Business Insider writes, Elon Musk's luck has finally run out. Is this it? It's the end for Elon? Oh, no.
It was a good run.
Lynette Lopez writing that Elon was on a heater. From 2019 to 2022, it seemed if every single gamble he took was paying off. Then he did what every risk-addicted blackjack player inevitably does. He pushed his luck too far. Overconfidence, confirmation bias, and delusions of control led to a string of bad decisions, and boom, Elon's empire is in trouble again. Oh, no. Oh, wait, what's this? The richest man in the world, Elon Musk, $244.4 billion thanks to Tesla and SpaceX. Hold on. I thought his Elon Musk's luck ran out. So what's the argument? This is the narrative machine lying. They don't want you to hear the truth. Elon Musk engaged in political behavior, defending free speech, buying a big tech platform, and is winning. He's got more FU money than anyone on the planet. Tesla is slaying it. Cybertruck is coming out. Everyone's super excited. SpaceX has the majority of all space launches. And they're like, yeah, well, Elon Musk's failing because we don't like Twitter anymore. Yo, Mark Zuckerberg barely even posts on Threads anymore. Nobody uses it.
You know what
this is the narrative.
You know what I think is happening is they're trying to scare their people out of doing what Elon Musk has done, particularly wealthier people. But I think Americans in general, it's sort of, they're using him as an example of, you know, this is what happens when you speak out, when you do something to go against, when you're a dissenter, when you go against what the state says is acceptable. They want you to think that he's a massive failure. They want you to think that if you were to even go, even try to do what he's done or go even remotely close to that, the same thing's going to happen to you. That everybody who does something that gets involved in politics and takes an opposing position to the state will fail, and you will fail too. I think that's what this is part of, because they try it every time somebody ventures out and tries to do something and they're successful at it when it comes to creating either, a parallel economy, being a part of that, or doing what Elon Musk is doing, which is actually quite unprecedented, honestly. So it's hard to compare it to anything else. But I think more than anything, they just want you to believe that you will fail if you speak out, if you do something against the state. That's why these articles are coming out.
Yep.
They'll take your money, they'll defame you, they'll destroy you, they'll take everything that they love from you, but will they be able to stop you? Absolutely not. Look what happened to Owen Schroyer. Look what happened to Alex Jones. Look what is happening to all these individuals that they did everything to stop, and then they have risen once again, back up again. And this is a big sign. This is a huge case right now that they desperately want to be true. They need it to be true, because if it's not, it's showing people that free speech is popular. It's more popular than what the corporate advertisers want it to be. It's more popular than the federal government and the feds want it to be. And I think free speech is the big winner here. And even though they're saying all this stuff, that doesn't mean it's true.
Look at this image they made of Elon Musk. His
hilarious.
Forehead getting red and his money disappearing. The dude's worth $244 billion. He could lose all of Twitter, and it's $44 billion value. Not to mention, he didn't pay for the whole thing because he got loans. And he'd still be worth, if let's say he ate the whole cost of Twitter and it collapsed, he's worth $200 billion. That's, I don't get it. They're just trying to push a narrative, like you were saying, Anna. They want you to think that you cannot succeed doing this stuff.
But who is they? I'm not understanding.
The deep state.
He works with
Democrat. Okay,
he's got SpaceX.
You're asking who is they though?
Yeah.
It is Democrat and neocon party establishment shills who are mad that they can no longer control the narrative. It is the CIA and the FBI who had a direct line to Twitter and lost it and were using it to manipulate narratives.
But Tesla and especially SpaceX is like tight with the Department of Defense. They need that technology, and he's helping them and working with them.
Isn't he being sued by Merrick Garland or whatever? Whatever happened with that?
He has multiple lawsuits, including some for going after him for not hiring enough refugees in SpaceX.
Oh, yeah.
For some strange reason.
The DOJ sued him in August for not hiring refugees, despite the fact he's not legally allowed to.
I think they thought they could control him. I really do think they thought that, okay, well, he's still somewhat one of us. He's not really that into politics. And then they failed, and he's, fighting back. And now they're starting to realize, oh, Elon's not on our side. I think that they've lost their guy. They lost, because I think the government likes to control the wealthiest people in the country. And when they start to lose them, that's a threat to them because they have more power. And that's what's going on here. And we kind of saw it with, and this isn't really as big of a deal because they're not quite as wealthy as Elon. But what happened with the company that made Sound of Freedom, they came after them, the whole, I think it was Rolling Stone, that a few other articles came after that too. But they attacked them, calling them a and conspiracy theorists. And it's like, it's the same thing as this. They want to make you believe you can't be successful if you provide a perspective outside of the accepted narrative. But yeah, I think he's a particular threat because he's so wealthy and they thought that they could control him. I think they did think they could regain control of him.
So this is what happens with, we put out a bunch of songs and a lot of things have happened. The first thing is Pete Parada, formerly of The Offspring. We make contact with them. We work together. We make a song. And when our publicist reached out to various entertainment publications to say, former drummer from The Offspring working with Tim Pool, the responses we got back were go F yourself and things like that. Unbecoming of entertainment reporters. By all means, they could have been like, we don't like this, we're not fans of you politically, but there's news there in what we're doing. Instead, the response was not only are we going to ignore this to make sure no one knows you're doing it because we don't want to give you any press because they view press as a weapon. They actually emailed us back. We got emails back from a variety of different entertainment outlets saying F yourselves. And we were like, wow. When we reached out to, I want to keep it relatively vague for legal reasons, litigious reasons. When we reached out to various music industry groups, like, here's the standard process by which we publish music, they outright just whoopsie screwed the songs up, screwed up tracking, rejected it. And we were just like, wow, man. And so the original idea we had was to make a song mocking the whole industry. And then when I saw what Jeremy Boring and Michael Knowles did with Together Again, the story that Jeremy told was they offered a substantial, 100 times the market rate to play a song, and they were rejected. And so Jeremy was like, we're going to make our own parody version of this song from the 60s. It's like basically our version of an FU and spend six figures doing it. And so that's why we have the song coming out this Friday. I don't want to ham it up too much, but we are promoting it. The issue is we need to win the culture war. The institutions are controlled. The media is controlled. The movie industry is controlled. And so it's not just about making music. It's not just about making movies. It's not just about Elon buying X. It's also important to understand these institutions will spit in your face publicly, will lie about you outside of the media. So this is why we're doing thebestsongever.com. This is why we're making culture. And it's all aligned with, I don't know how to explain it. I guess more than just what people realize is captured, right? You'd think, oh, the big labels will only sign bands. No, you don't understand. The financial institutions banning people, like web services cutting people off. When Gab had their hosting, Gab had their hosting seized, right? It's been a long time. Like there are thin threads of infrastructure in all of these different networks where people will give you the middle finger and try and shut you down.
I think that's why music is so powerful, and that writing really good music can over and over and over and just putting out consistently really good songs is like not really unstoppable, but pretty close to unstoppable. With the radio and shortwave radio, like it doesn't require a lot of bandwidth to get a song across to somebody. You don't really need centralized networks, and it changes people. And then the people go and they seek out who did the song and they want to listen to them. And if you're under 5 firewalls behind some mesh network on some pirate radio out at sea, they're going to find you and listen to you. And I think that's the way to do it. And if the messages are in the song and people don't even realize, that's another way to manipulate the masses into doing good.
We are building probably the largest private East Coast skate facility for a show, and we're spending several $1 million. We're bringing out pro skateboarders and big industry individuals, and we're filming videos. And we're doing it because, I think everybody who plays video games, everybody who likes sci-fi movies has seen wokeness infect their culture. And with comic books and video games, it became very apparent 10 years ago with like Gamergate. And for me, it's like, I play video games sometimes, you know what I mean? I don't really pay attention all that much. So I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Here's what's going on. Then it came into skateboarding, and it's bad. And now I'm like substantially more irritated and aggressive because it's attacking something that I participate in and care about really, really badly. I mean, the woke stuff in skateboarding is just absolutely getting crazy. And we see it with Taylor Silverman. She's a female athlete and she loses to males on more than one occasion. And we're seeing more than just that in advertising and sponsorships. Companies no longer sponsor the best skateboarders. It's still there for sure. But now there are people who are getting major sponsorship deals for identity politics. And I'm like, we're going to shut it down. And at least in terms of what I know, music, skateboarding, etc., we are going to invest heavily in pushing back on all these cultural areas. I hope everybody else does as well. So seeing Rippaverse, Eric July's comic books, is man, the victories just keep stacking themselves up. So let's make more of those.
It's almost as if everything is being weaponized. Lawfare is being weaponized. Entertainment is being weaponized. Movies are being weaponized. And the hearts and minds of individuals, especially during a war, are key to win over. And I think this is the kind of groundwork we are seeing for what could be potentially a bigger conflict out there. They are trying to win the hearts and minds of individuals. They're losing. Look what happened at Disney. The Disney turnaround with Snow White. The Disney individuals who, of course, are pissed off at the company, which Elon Musk spoke out against, specifically giving a big kind of FU to the company, and many people unsubscribing from that particular platform, also highlights a big kind of shift in people's energy and reaction towards this, as, of course, everything woke now is being met with distaste and disdain. And I think it's great.
A lot of the people said that Vietnam was ended because of the musicians of the time, like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. There was a riot at Kent State, 1970, May 4th, where all the students were out yelling, "End the war, end the war," and they were throwing rocks at the National Guard. And the National Guard opened fire and killed 4 kids, four adults at that point. And then Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young wrote a song called "Ohio" about that, and it went hugely popular. And it was also having the video cameras embedded in the war zone and seeing the horror that ended it too. But those two things in conjunction music woke people up. Seeing it. We're in an age of deepfakes now, which makes things a little strange.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.